Hello, hello, ladies. Successful detoxers completing your first ever 9-day detox. Here we go. How's everybody doing? Everybody's doing great. Everybody's wonderful. Feeling very good. Fine. Amazing. Good, good, good. I woke up today to all the emails and things over the weekend. You guys, I have to say, like, even though some of you either didn't know what you were supposed to do on Friday, you didn't see where the juice recipes were, some of you were not sure about the quantities, some of you, like, there's some, some misunderstanding, or you missed a class, or you didn't see it in the thing, but you figured it out, which is amazing. You asked on the group, somebody helped you, you realized that you needed to go back and watch a class, so you went back and watched a class. So this is really important to show you a couple of things. One, like I always say, you can't do this wrong. So even if you didn't have all the juices on Friday, or you had them in a different order, or you only had one kind, or you ended up having some apples and some dates, maybe you had a salad, you can't do this wrong. Healing food is healing food. It's not like, this is where our diet mindset comes in, right? Where you follow a diet, and if you don't do it exactly right and you go and get weighed at the doctor, then the scale is off. And I've heard some doctors will yell at you for not following exactly. So this is why this is the complete opposite. Healing foods are healing foods. And anytime that you eat, every single time that you put something in your mouth, even if it's not optimally healthy, right? A couple of you messaged me over the weekend, emailed me and said, you know what? I had a cup of coffee today. So even if you do that, every time you eat, there's no shame or guilt or blame. And the reason for that is that food and the type of food that you eat is not a judgment of your character. Right? You're not a good person or a bad person based on what you're eating. And because every time you eat, it's simply an experiment. Some experiments, you're going to put the food in your body, because every time you eat, what's happening? It's a chemical reaction inside your body. It's a biochemical reaction. Every time you eat, whether incredibly healthy, healing foods, or the other spectrum, if it's junk, it all reacts biochemically in your body, with your cells, with your organs, with your systems, with your blood. It reacts with everything. So every single time is just an experiment. So you eat the optimally healthy foods and your cells are happy and they're nourished and they're hydrated and they're able to give you energy and you feel fantastic, then you know that that experiment works really well. You eat something that's junky, coffee, pizza, burgers, and you wake up the next day and you feel like lower energy, maybe you get constipated, you don't feel as upbeat as you usually feel. You know what? That experiment didn't work quite so well. That's it. You move on. So we're not going to sit and be upset every single time we think we're not doing the best thing for our body. You are learning how to heal yourself. You're learning how to tune into your body, to feel into it. You're learning how to make your health non-negotiable. And this path, like I'm always going to tell you, is not perfectly linear. So if you didn't have all the juices, if you had a juice and then you had a piece of meat at the end of the day, not the end of the world, because there is no finish line here. It's not like you have to get it all right, all perfect, because if you don't get the result by the end of the 3 months together, then you failed the program. No, you're learning as you go along. And there's something called failing forward. And write this word down, phrase, failing forward. You're going to continuously be learning, unlearning, relearning. And that's going to require you to be kind to yourself and to be gentle with yourself and not to judge yourself, and to understand that when you fail forward, when you do something that you weren't expecting to do, or you backtrack to an old habit, it's part of the process of building the new habit. So a lot of this came through in all of your emails this morning. Nothing has gone wrong. Like nothing has gone wrong. You haven't done anything wrong. This is literally still only day 11. When you think about it, if you forget, like, the first 4 days of prep, Today's only day 11 of your detox, day 11 of eating completely differently than how you've eaten your entire life. So it's still going to be a little, a little shaky. Your critter brain is still going to try and take you back to your old habits. And what you're learning now, especially with the physical part, is that when your cravings are just about gone for most of you, I want to say, right? You have that, that urge that you had to eat certain foods, it's pretty much gone for most of you. So the biggest lesson now at this point in this process is that whatever cravings or issues you had with cravings before, or you felt like your cravings controlled you before, that was and you believed it because that's what your brain was telling you, right? I have uncontrollable cravings. I can't control myself around chocolate. I can't live without my coffee. We talked about that in the thought model. That's not the truth. Not just because it's a thought that goes through your head means it's actually true. And now that you've actually proved it to yourself physically, you know it's not true. You know you can live without coffee. You know you can live without bread. You know that you're not weak because you have some uncontrollable craving. There was something happening that you still didn't have the knowledge and you didn't have the tools to tackle, but now you do. So there's this incredible awareness that keeps happening. And there's going to be so many more awarenesses as you continue to stay on this journey. So amazing job to all of you. And almost all of you have reached out to me to let you know how you're moving forward. And I believe that everybody has made the right choice for themselves. And again, if you choose to do the 9 days, or you're choosing to do hybrid, or you're choosing to do clean eating, and then after the end of the 9 days or at the end of the week, you realize, no, I think I probably should have pushed myself or been a little bit easier on myself, whichever way, doesn't mean that you made the wrong decision today. It means that you are constantly reevaluating and you're listening to your body and you are taking the decision that best suits you at the time that you're taking it. Nothing has gone wrong at all. So I want you to do a check-in today. Today is like, I don't have anything that specific I want to talk about. If any of you have feedback for me, you have specific questions, maybe now that you've gone back since yesterday, reintroduce animal protein, some of you, maybe reintroduce some of the grains in the 9-day plan. Maybe you're starting to see some symptoms. I want you to do a check-in with me today and let's spend time talking about that. A couple of you asked me on the group about Ramadan again. So I will spend a little bit of time on that also. All right. We'll go through all the questions first. I'll look at the questions in the chat and then I'll talk about Ramadan at the end. Noher, hi Dana, I have a fever and body ache and sore throat. What shall I do? I've been drinking boiling fresh ginger. I feel much better, but is there anything else I can do? Major detox symptoms here, right? That's all it is. Fever, body ache, sore throat are not signs of illness. These are signs of healing. These are signs that the body is clearing toxicity out. It's very possible, Noher, because this is not your first time to do this, that it will take a little bit longer for somebody who's detoxed before. I think this is her 3rd time. It will take a little bit longer for the body maybe to show deeper symptoms because she's already cleared a couple of layers, right? Even if in between the times that she's done this program, she wasn't doing it 100%, she's gone through that initial process of clearing her body. So this would make sense that it took 9 days, 10 days for her body to show the symptoms. Your body is working very hard, Noher. So there's nothing to do. You're doing fresh ginger. That's great. Lemon. I mean, you're doing lemon with fresh ginger. Make sure you have lemon in there. I would also do fresh orange juice. That's basically it. You just have to help it. You just have to wait it out, right? Don't suppress it. Don't be upset with it. Be grateful that your body knows how to self-eliminate the toxins, and it will pass within a few days. Nothing again is going wrong here in your head. Your body is doing exactly what it needs to do. Rest as much as you can. I know that you work. If you can stay home and rest, by all means, do that also. And definitely the lavender peppermint. If you don't have the lavender, peppermint, and magnesium oil, these will help with the body aches. So put the lavender peppermint mix on your head, the back of your neck, any part of your body that's sore. Put the magnesium oil on any part of your body that's sore. Put it on the bottoms of your feet to help you sleep at night also. Abir, today I took a cup of tea. I was craving it. You don't need to go like this, Abir. right? It's okay. It's okay. So what happened? Here's what you do when this happens. You ask yourself, so I had the tea, and what happened after I had the tea? Did it give me a headache? You want to follow through on the experiment, right? So you drank the tea. Did it give you a headache? Did it give you, did you feel jittery? Did it give you diarrhea? Did it make you feel bloated? This is all important information that when you introduce anything that we've removed, you want to be able to see if there's a correlationship, a cause and effect. All right. Shadeen, honestly, still get cravings, but at least I know it's more emotional, mental boredom conditioning. Good to know. Exactly. And we're going to get to that. So because we have actually literally gotten rid of the biochemical addictions, any strong, let's say strong craving, not something that's like quick and passing, right? But something that it's like it takes up mind space, and then you have the negotiation with yourself. Should I go eat? Should I not go eat? Or what do I eat? I feel like eating something. Right now, at this point, that's going to be a completely emotional, mental craving. It could be boredom. It could be, you don't realize that you're stressed. You had a stressful day. It could be somebody upset you and you didn't answer back. It could be you got stuck in traffic and it frustrated you. It could be anything on the spectrum of emotions, anything. But because you've just never been in tune to it before, or before you've always interpreted it as a hunger, an actual, to put something in my mouth hunger, you haven't yet identified what the trigger is and what the emotion that is going along with that trigger is. And we're going to do that in our emotional eating class. But it's good that you're starting to get that awareness. Dina, I was craving to chew on juice day. I did it for 2 days. Good for you, but couldn't do it today. I went back to day 5. Amazing. Like anything that you put your mind to, when you go deeper and go from eating and chewing and eating solids to just doing liquids, one of the first things your body's going to crave is to chew and like something crunchy and something salty. This is absolutely normal because you've established sort of a comfort zone with your clean eating ways, your detoxing ways, and then you take it up to another level. Like you've been used to chewing, you've been used to a mixture of tastes and a mixture of textures, and all of a sudden you're just getting liquid. So that's totally fine. If you ever feel like you want to do a longer juice plan, and I think I mentioned to you that I've done a 28-day juice one. It is one of those things that when you make a decision to do it, you're going to follow through, because whenever you make a decision like this, and so many of you have done this already, maybe without recognizing, is you made it non-negotiable. Like, I'm doing this no matter what. So you will, the craving to chew on something, the craving for something maybe salty or nutty when you're just doing juice, that also passes exactly the same way that when you first started this detox, you guys were craving all your favorite foods, or you were craving coffee or whatever it is, and then it passes. Karen, I was so happy after juice day to have veggies. I saw your post. Who would have thought, right? Who would any of you have thought, 2 weeks ago when we started together, that you would be dreaming about and craving your veggies at some point? Again, the power of the mind and the power of just changing your perception and changing your habits and changing your palate. Really, that's just what has come down to. Your body is craving the healthy food now. That's it. It's craving those vitamins and those minerals and the things that your cells know are the best foods that it can have. And starting the 9 days. Amazing. Shahinez, hi Dana. Today I ate 3 pieces of grilled fish and tahini and salad and zucchini soup. I was just so hungry. I'm wondering why I didn't control my portions. What was wrong with that, Shahinez? What's wrong with 3 pieces? Were they like really big pieces, like this?
No, not that big, but 3 pieces.
Okay,
After not eating
fish is
protein
very
at all.
light. Fish is very light. Okay, fish. I mean, you can do worse. You can do worse than having 3 pieces of fish with tahina and salad and zucchini soup. You can do a lot worse than that, right? So if you're feeling like you weren't able to control your portions, one, there is the cold element. Cold is just going to make people more hungry. That's just how it is. Our body needs to create generate more heat to keep us warm, and it will want more food to do that. So as long as you're eating from the healing foods, and even if every once in a while you have a little bit more animal protein, I told you, I tend to have more animal protein in the winter than in the summer. Summer, I can go for a month without any animal protein. It's heavy, and your body will feel the difference between winter and summer. In the winter, we want more grounding food, and grounding food is animal protein. We want more warming food. We want more cooked food. And as we shift and move into spring and summer, you're going to see like that the meat that you felt like you really wanted in winter is going to feel really heavy in spring and summer. The hot soup that you have in winter is going to be too hot. You want something to cool your body off in the summer. So this is another sort of ebb and flow that you want to pay attention to. So no, you could have done, plus fruits. Yeah, 100% totally fine, Shahinaz, totally fine.
Okay. So thank you.
Welcome. Dina, I have constipation even though I took lots of orange juice. Is this as a result of the juicing days, or did you go back and add animal protein today and then you got constipated, Dina? Where is Dina? There you are. Dina, if you're trying to speak, trying to answer, I need you to unmute yourself. Oh, here, okay. You didn't add any animal protein. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, okay. I didn't see your.
Hi.
Hi.
No, I didn't get any animal protein at all.
Okay.
Just the juicing,
Okay.
and I was constipating for the past 3 days.
And is it still there or it's gone?
It's there. It's still there.
Okay, so
And
you haven't gone at all.
no.
Okay, so we need to clear that for you quickly. You don't want to be going any longer than this with constipation. So if you have your magnesium oil spray tonight, rub it all over your abdominal area and rub it on the bottoms of your feet. And if you have vitamin C, not El Fawar, but regular vitamin C tablet, take 1,000 milligrams at bedtime. And let me know what happens in the morning. This is, again, because you took
I
your...
used the magnesium oil yesterday, but it wasn't effective.
You did it on your tummy before bed?
Yes.
Okay, so then let's do the vitamin C.
Okay,
1,000
I'll try.
milligrams. Okay, and let me know. We might, if that doesn't work, then we might have to do another 1,000 milligrams in the morning and then another 1,000 milligrams tomorrow night. But let me know. We'll get this rebalanced. Don't worry about it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Let me scroll back up here. Hiba, I had a craving, only one, and I know it's emotional, but I'm not a morning person, so I'm struggling with the meal timing. This is my biggest challenge. Okay, Hiba, for you, right now, we just need to make sure that you are coming out of the deep detox symptoms. So we'll take it one step at a time. Let's not worry about the timings for now. Start your day whenever you start your day. Make sure the hours, though, are, relative to how they would be had you been starting your day early. And the most important thing for us is just to make sure we get over the big detox symptoms for you first. All right. Abir, on the 9-day plan, can I skip the dinner? Why do you want to skip the dinner, Abir?
Sometimes I feel I'm not hungry.
Okay.
يعني like today, I didn't feel that I want to eat at dinner. I just want for the lemon water, and then maybe after half an hour I will take the biscuit and the apple.
Okay. So if it depends.
Occasionally, I mean
Yes.
occasionally, not
Yes.
regularly, but
Exactly.
occasionally.
Exactly. So things that we do occasionally are not the things we worry about. It's the things that turn into a habit. So if it's yes, occasionally I wake up and I have no appetite for breakfast. It happens. I don't know why. I wake up and I don't want anything and I get busy. I get really busy with work, with things I'm doing. And all of a sudden it's like 1 o'clock and I've had nothing, right? Occasionally, yes, these things will happen to you. So as long as you're very conscious that it is every once in a while, because you don't want to put your body in a state of, well, the worst thing that happens with skipping meals is you're going to end up hungry later. So the body's going to make up for it. So anytime you skip food during the day, anytime you eliminate nutrition, which is basically energy and fuel for the body during the day. And this is why so many women find themselves hungry at night, because during the day, either they skipped meals or went too many hours without food, or the food was not, nutrient dense. So that even though you might have been feeding the body, the cells weren't getting what they really needed. So the body keeps track and sort of has to make up for all of this before you sleep. So when this happens occasionally, it's not a big deal. But when it becomes consistent to where the body is regularly missing nutrition, because you forgot, because you skipped a meal, because you went for, too many hours, you skipped a meal at night, it will eventually catch up with you. So this is what you have to know. Never ever, Karen, right? Never, never. This is one for the books. Hiba, are we supposed to feel hungry or should we be hungry a lot? At this point, you're not supposed to feel physical hunger. If you're feeling hunger, it's one of two things. Either you're not eating enough, because the food that we're eating is incredibly nourishing, incredibly nutrient dense, and it has eliminated the biochemical addictions. So either you're not eating enough, you're eating too little, or it's all emotional and you haven't yet gotten to the point where you're able to identify an emotional trigger yet. But we're going to get to that. So even if you're not able to identify it just yet, that's okay. We're going to learn that. Is it okay to have a date right after a meal, or do I need to wait at least 1 hour? If the meal has animal protein, you have to wait 3 to 4 hours for any fruit, not just dates. So if you're having animal protein, you need to either have your fruits 30 minutes before, dates or any fruits, or you wait 3 to 4 hours before. If the meal is one of the detox meals, just all the veggies and all of that, you can have it right after. That's not a problem. Shadeen, does honey lose its nutrition when heated? Any raw food loses nutrition when it's heated. Anything. An apple, broccoli, asparagus, any food that you technically can be eaten as is, but we take it and we cook it because it's just not palatable to eat it raw. You're killing off some of the, remember we said they have live nutrients, live minerals, live enzymes. You kill some of those off anytime you cook anything. So that's why we don't want to overcook food. And that's why, unfortunately, like our traditional Egyptian cooking, all that turning it into a stew, and leaving it to stew for so long kills everything off. So this is why, steaming, lightly boiling, lightly roasting are the best ways to cook, where we minimize losing all of those nutrients. Any specific symptoms to watch out for after reintroducing lentils, grains? Oh, so lentils or grains, the obvious symptoms are going to be bloating and gas, headache, brain fog, fatigue, constipation. If you have a thyroid condition and you have specific symptoms that you relate to your thyroid, lentils, grains, etc., will flare those up. Those are the basic ones to see. Hiba, I must admit that my gut is much, much better. Amazing. No craving, only ones, and my skin actually looks and feels good. Amazing. So this means, Hiba, we're starting to go into the healing. Your body has done the purging and it's getting rid of the toxins. They're on their way out. I mean, we're never really 100% done with toxins, like never. Like your body's always getting rid, but you know what I mean? Like this first za'a is out, and the fact that you see it on your skin tells us that you are feeding your body at the cellular level. Tomorrow's our skin class, right? So we're going to get into that tomorrow. When your skin looks good, you know that you are feeding yourself on a deep, deep cellular level. I'll tell you why tomorrow. I always have the lunch and dinner together. What do you mean always have lunch and dinner together, Dina? You put lunch and dinner at the same time? Explain, please. I'm getting lots of compliments about my face glow. There you go. It's getting there.
Hello.
Hi.
It's me. Yes, I skip lunch, so I have the dinner, lunch together since it's the same thing. So I just make a big bowl of salad. Is this okay or?
Okay, so tell me the time.
And
So,
I have many snacks.
okay, so what time is breakfast?
Breakfast is at 8, as is.
Okay, and then lunch technically would be what time for you? 12:01, and you're skipping that one?
I'm skipping that one, yes.
And then eating
I
at like
have
5,
snacks instead.
and you're eating around 5 or 6?
Yes.
That might be part of the reason for the constipation, is there isn't enough food in your system. Can you split, like whatever you're having for your lunch slash dinner at once? Can you divide that in 2 and have one at lunch and one at dinner?
Yeah, I tried to do this,
Hmm.
but I skipped the dinner. So it's again, I always tend to have snacks in the middle.
What are your
And
snacks? Okay, tell me your snacks.
apples, dates.
Can you do a fruit salad at lunchtime? A big bowl of fruit salad instead of
Yeah.
Okay, so
So I
tag me in the group. Tag me in the group tomorrow,
Mhm.
and I'll give you a fruit salad recipe. Make it, keep it in your fridge, and snack on that. And like a big bowl, right? I need something substantial and something that's full of fiber to be going through your system. I don't want your system just to be having like these random things, not necessarily in any order. Let's add in more fiber and something where you're not skipping a meal, but it's not as heavy as the lunch and dinner option.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
And can I ask you something else? My stool before the constipation was like the really tiny ones. You know,
circles?
you have the types, yeah, the balls, like the really tiny ones. And it was hard, to get out also.
Okay, so they're not one of the happy ones. So, I mean, that makes sense. Let's try and do the fruits and add that in and see what happens with that so we can rebalance that for you. There's not a problem here, right? Because anytime that we shift how we eat, anytime that we shift, especially when you all of a sudden add a lot of fiber, which is the fruits and vegetables are all fiber. When you add that, all of a sudden, okay, this can sort of your system just kind of like it's not used to it, and it could hold on to these fibers because again, remember how it holds on to hydration that it hasn't had. It can also hold on to these fibers that you haven't had before. All right, so none of this is anything to worry about at all. We just have to figure out like how to overcome it, because the longer that you go with constipation, well, I mean, your poop is excreting toxins, right? We need to get it out of your body. So if it's stuck and your liver filters out your hormones, and so if whatever's being filtered is not being eliminated from the body, it recirculates in the body as more toxicity. So we want to get that out of the way. Okay.
Okay.
Let me just go back up. Abir, sometimes when I wake up after 10 p.m., if I'm hungry, can I eat fruits? Are there a better option? Yeah, whenever you're off schedule and anytime you feel like you need to eat at night, fruits is always your best option because it will go through your system within 30 minutes. So this is not one of those things that when we say, you need to wait 3 or 4 hours before bed, it's not going to overload your liver when you sleep. Yes.
Yes, please, Dana. Even if dates.
Anything. Dates.
Anything.
Dates are really good because they actually help you go to sleep. Dates, bananas, they help with the to calm you down and help you go to sleep. So any fruit, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. What about honey in the wax? Is it healthy or not? It's not a must. No, it is healthy and it's the most natural type of honey, but you don't need to go and hunt for it and find it. Find the easiest, most accessible form, a brand of raw honey that you can find. Doesn't have to be in the wax. Why do we have to wait to eat fruit after animal protein? So animal protein takes the longest to digest in your system. It takes about 3 to 5 hours from when you eat a piece of meat or chicken or fish to when the body puts it in the intestines and ready to be eliminated. A fruit takes 30 minutes to go through your body. So if you eat a piece of meat or chicken or fish and then that's it. It's in your stomach for the next 3 hours, right? Being churned around, being digested. And then you eat a fruit, which only needs 30 minutes. It's going to get stuck with the meat. It will not go through the meat. It's going to get stuck with the meat, stuck in that churning process with the animal protein in your digestion, and then it's going to ferment because it's going to sit there for another 3 or 4 hours before being moved along. So this isn't like a huge problem, right? And if you have stronger digestive system, some people it's not an issue at all. But for most people, because our digestive systems are compromised, when we end up with this mix, this can give, because it's an overload on the system, this can give you headaches, it can give you constipation, it can make you bloated, it can make you gassy, it can make you dizzy. So we just want to separate them just to, again, ease the load off the digestive system. Samar, I'm doing juices, smoothies, and salad. Surprisingly, alhamdulillah, I don't have any cravings and I feel great. Amazing. Just don't know when till I keep on doing that. Shall I carry on till I'm satisfied with my weight, or would that not be healthy? Like I told you, I've done a 28 days, juices only plan. And people who have very, very, very chronic diseases with cancer, very, very ill people will do 3, 6, 8 months of nothing but juices to heal. So there's nothing unhealthy about what you're doing. If you're doing it specifically for weight, then definitely that's your end goal. When you reach that goal, then you know you're done. You don't need to do it. We can't necessarily live just on juices and smoothies. We have teeth for a reason. We're supposed to chew. So keep doing it as long as you want to do it. Once you're ready to transition from that, I mean, you're already doing salad, so it's not like you're even doing a purely liquid, right? You're just doing fruits and vegetables. Once you feel like you want to reintroduce animal protein to that, or cooked vegetables to that, then just go ahead and swap out one of the meals. So if you're having a smoothie for lunch, for example, I would swap that out for a meal. Or if you're having a smoothie at dinner time, swap that out for a meal. Abir, what about pickles, cucumber? I make it myself at home with healthy salt. Right, so if you're using the sea salt, right, it's not about low sodium. Low sodium is a myth. We need sodium. Sodium is a very vital mineral for the body. You don't get high blood pressure from sodium. So you don't need to use anything low sodium. You need to use the right pure salt. So as long as you're using sea salt or Himalayan salt to make your own, that's fine. But again, things that are pickled, right? And I know there's lots of conversations about how pickled things, fermented things are good for you. Too much of a good thing can end up backfiring, right? So it is a pickled food. So if you eat pickled things all the time, you sort of end up pickling your insides, like pickling your liver, and we don't want that. So again, every once in a while, no problem. Every day, with every single meal, no, I wouldn't do that. Karen, regards doTERRA oils, I can use morning lemon water. I also have wild orange I can add to the smoothie. Yes, definitely. You have any of those. I mean, the essential oils are the most potent part of the plant. So if you have only doTERRA, like I wouldn't put any of the local brands, I wouldn't ingest them. So I wouldn't put any of the oils in your drink or in your food. I don't know that they're therapeutic grade. I don't know that they've even said they are therapeutic grade. Use them only topically. doTERRA, yes, of course. Put them in your smoothies, put them in your cooking, whatever you enjoy. Hiba, what about olives, black or green? Are they allowed? Yes. Again, I would, if you buy them from a supermarket though, I mean, in terms of olives, olives are great. There's nothing wrong with olives. You just want to make sure that they're kept in olive oil, and that they're not kept in a cheap oil like sunflower oil or corn oil. I don't know if you can actually confirm that. If you buy them fresh, right? Not the ones that comes in a jar, it should say what it's in. The safest thing is rinse them, give them a little bit of a rinse before you eat them. Yasmin, go ahead.
Thanks. Honestly, I'm a little bit disappointed because I've been doing my very best to abstain from the not so good food. And but the thing is, because I just need to have something very carby. So I eat a lot of quinoa, but then I do get headaches.
Okay.
And if I'm going to quit quinoa, then what's left? I mean, there's no pasta, there's no bread, there's no rice.
Okay, let me just go through what you said. Okay, so I think you said something about not so good food. Let's not label food, because then in your mind, right, every time you have the not so good food, you're going to, I think you missed the beginning part where I said what you eat is not a judgment of your character, right? So every time you eat something that you've labeled not so good, you might say, oh my God, I haven't been good today, or I'm disappointed, or I didn't do this, or I didn't do that. There's no shame or guilt or anything around this process, all right? The fact that you've been eating quinoa and you've discovered this about yourself, this is really important information, right? Like you've collected data here on how your body responds to a certain food. So we have to just keep experimenting. So we're going to remove quinoa and we're going to try something else and see what does work for your body. And the other thing that all of you, I mean, this is still, like I said, today's only day 11, right? So even if we've gotten rid of the biochemical cravings, we have emotional attachments to food. Like even if you're not necessarily craving it right now, but bread and pasta, these are not essentials. Keep reminding yourself, we're not removing something that needs a replacement, and it's not an essential food. And it's these types of foods that got you all to this place where you needed to make a change. So it's kind of like, I was going to say smoking, but now they've like created all these crazy things instead of smoking that have just done the same damage, just smoking. Like when you smoke and you realize that smoking is really bad for you and it's going to make you sick, and you're like, right, I need to quit smoking. You don't think of needing a replacement for smoking. Let's just think back to like pre-vaping days, all right? You don't need a replacement for something that was making you unwell. So I want you the reason I'm telling you this is because it's not deprivation. You say, what else is left? That is an expression of some type of, I feel deprived. When you say, what is left? You're not deprived, right? Think that you actually can choose to go and have the bread. You can have the pot. You can choose whatever you want, right? You haven't lost free will. You get to choose whatever you want. You just now are all coming to this level of awareness that this is not the best food for me, right? This is not how I'm going to stay healthy as I move into my 50s and 60s and 70s and prevent disease. So you get to choose, like nobody's actually stopping you. The simple answer as to what do I have instead of quinoa if I'm not having bread or pasta is potatoes. In a nutshell, right? If you need that filling, carby feeling, it's potatoes. Potatoes will not create inflammation. Potatoes are full of vitamins and minerals. They're very detoxifying. They're great mood enhancers. Who doesn't love potatoes? They are actually also really good at pulling viruses from the body. So if you feel like you need to have a side of potatoes with whatever it is you're having your quinoa with, start with potatoes, boiled, roasted, mashed without the butter and dairy, whatever formula. I mean, who posted a really great recipe today? Shadeen, right?
Yes, Shadeen. I think it was Shadeen.
Yeah. So go for that. You're experimenting, right? You're trying to see what works best. Maybe the quinoa is not a food that's going to make you sick, right? Quinoa is not pasta. Quinoa is not a pizza, right? But for you, for your body, if you have noticed this connection, it means that on some level, it's creating some kind of silent inflammation in your body.
It is, yeah, the headache is, and I'm suspecting that it might have caused me to feel feverish, actually.
So here's the thing, because it's not what we categorize as inflammatory. It's quinoa, right? It can be for some people, but here's what I've noticed with myself, with many other people. It could be that your body just can't handle it now. You're still healing your gut, right? Like I remember the first time I did my first ever detox, and like 6 weeks after, I was at a birthday party and I had the cake and I had the pizza and I was like, oh, I've been detoxing for 6 weeks. And then an hour later, I had to go home because I couldn't open my eyes from the heaviness, from the headache, from everything, right? But that was only 6 weeks into my detox journey. Now I go to a birthday, I have on my birthday, I have the cake, I have the pizza, I have everything, and I'm just like this after, right? You have to strengthen right now where all of you are. Your digestive systems are still they're weak, and we're still in the process of strengthening them. When they're really strong, you will have your, the quinoa and maybe nothing will happen, right? You'll have your cheese sandwich and nothing will happen. But right now, it's too early for any of you, except maybe some of you, except maybe Rebecca, because she's done this for a whole year, to say that their systems are robust enough where they can handle inflammatory foods. So don't feel bad that, oh my God, I love my quinoa, and what if I never get to have it again? No, let's just say that maybe we just need to wait a bit until quinoa can be part of your regular intake again. And in the meantime, you're just going to work on strengthening yourself and having potatoes. I mean, there's worse things you can do than have potatoes as a substitute for quinoa.
Fair enough. And one more question, please. So there's sea salt that's been iodized. So is that bad? Like, should we just get pure sea salt that is not iodized?
I don't know why they keep trying to mess with, nature. Yeah, just plain sea salt. Plain sea salt. It's got everything. God made it the way it needs to be. Yes.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Sally, go ahead. Hi, unmute yourself, please.
Yes, yes. Dana, yesterday I got a very bad side effect in my eye, which had the autoimmune pain, the same pain, and started becoming red and watery. I'm repeating the 3 days of the vegetables and fruits and juicing.
So
And
yesterday you mean you woke up with it after your juicing?
no, at night after I pushed myself for dinner with the vegetables to detox more. And I
Okay.
pushed myself with the lemon water. I was really full, and with the lemon balm as well. And then it was getting heavier and heavier, and then really painful. I was very concerned. I mean, I didn't try to take the lemon water night or have dinner this time.
And how are you
because
feeling? How are you feeling now?
Actually, towards the Fajr, I was okay. يعني,
Okay.
it went. It released completely. It was like, what happened? I don't know.
It was a detox symptom. Remember when I tell you if you have a pre-existing
I got
condition?
terrified because it became
Yeah.
red and watery, and the same pain,
Yeah.
all without introductions,
Yep. A healing crisis. So when we have a weak spot in our body, when we have a weakness, when we have a chronic condition somewhere, and we're detoxing, like migraines, like those of you who have migraines and the migraines got really, 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 really worse during the detox, and then eventually they're going to subside. If you have joint pain, or if you have an issue like this and you do a deep detox, it's going to push out whatever toxicities are collected. That's why this is a weak spot for you. So this was just a healing crisis that reached its peak, and like you said, went away, just like gone, released,
Oh,
purged.
yeah, and all of a sudden, where did it go? I found the headache, it disappeared. Usually it goes gradual, but it was like not the usual, yeah.
So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this happens again, right? In psych, I hope not. I mean, I don't want you to be in pain, but just don't be surprised. Like if
The pain is okay. It's the worry, I got terrified that it is a flare up,
well, it was kind of a flare up, right? It
Yeah.
was a healing. That's why it's called a healing crisis. It's a healing flare up where everything gets worse, the symptom gets worse, the injured part of your body feels like it's getting worse, not healing. But we know that the symptoms are the healing. So it needed to do this to get to a next stage of healing, and then it's done.
So do you think it's still recommended that I keep repeating the 3 days as I decided? Tomorrow's juicing, and then I'll take it again. Well, I shouldn't go
it might do it again because you're just doing deeper and deeper. So it definitely might do it again.
So what do you recommend?
I mean, there's no way to know if it's going to do it again, right? There's no way to know. Up to you. I mean, if this is something that was really uncomfortable, you don't want to risk it, then do slower paced.
After the juicing then. I won't repeat another 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're
Thank you.
welcome. Shahinez, what do you recommend to eat after sport? Swimming, Pilates, or going to gym and lifting weights? So if you're doing, usually, I mean, the way I like to do it is first thing in the morning, I just go on an empty stomach. So if some of you who have weight loss as a priority, this is like one of the best things to do is to go and work out on an empty stomach. And then when you come back, do your lemon celery smoothie. The other way to do it, and I don't do it because I have to go to the bathroom while I'm there, and I don't want to go to the bathroom a lot while I'm there, is to do your lemon and celery first, go work out, and then come back and have your smoothie, because the celery is an energy. It'll give you a boost of energy. And then the smoothie is the best thing to have. Have a smoothie anytime you go work out, have a smoothie, or if your workout happens to come right before your lunchtime, then go do your workout, come back and have your lunchtime. I think if you feel hungry after a workout, then plan to have your workout happen before one of your meals. That's the best way to do it. All right. Samad, are chia seeds and flax seeds okay to be added? Samad, you're doing all juices and stuff right now, right? Not now. I wouldn't add those to your only juice and smoothie plan. Not yet, but later. Shadeen, if we're still hungry after dinner with animal protein. So if you're having your animal protein, anytime between 5 and 7, and you're supposed to sleep by 10, technically you shouldn't have anything. 1, because that animal protein is still being digested. So you'll have the fruit and it'll go in there and it'll get stuck, which means your liver, instead of regenerating overnight, is going to be focused and concentrating on digesting this animal protein that just had this fruit added to it. But like I said before, any nighttime snack, like the best of all evils, is that the worst of all evils, is a fruit. That fruit, by all means, have a fruit. Maybe have a vegetable, like if you're okay having like a carrot or a cucumber, that will actually, believe it or not, digest better with your animal protein than a fruit will, because it doesn't have the sugars. It's not going to ferment as much. But my guess is you're going to probably want something sweet, right? So have a fruit and see, but also try and train yourself, right? That dinner time, unless you're having an herbal drink after, or lemon water or something after, you do want to get yourself into the habit that your last meal is between 5 and 7. We shut the kitchen, shut down production, let the body digest so that you can go to sleep and ready for the body and the liver to regenerate. Dates are considered fruits. That's right. Yes, they are. All right. Any other questions before I get into the answer the Ramadan question for you guys? All right. So for those of you who might have missed it, we are going to be together during Ramadan. So just let's get that out of the way. You are going to have support. I will be doing a separate program in Ramadan, which is the Ramadan detox. It's not this program. It is basically a very simple, clean eating program for Ramadan, for people to be able to experience Ramadan without the fatigue, the bloating, the headaches, the low energy, and just sort of like dragging themselves every single day. They will, if there's a diagnosed condition, if they have specific symptoms, they will feel better, but it's not a deep detox. And it is created in a way where if you have an outing with your family, you have people coming over, it's not something where you have to follow day by day. There isn't like a 9-day plan, and it's not in phases, right? It's just clean eating recipes for every day. I always tell people when I do it, you get to do it as much as you want or as little as you want. If you're ready to go full on and have a completely different type of Ramadan, you'll get it. If you just want to experiment and see, can I have at least a few days in the Ramadan where I'm not overeating, then it's going to be those recipes will help you. But it's not this It's a lot of flexibility, let's put it that way. So what's going to happen, because you guys are enrolled in this program, and Ramadan will start while we are still together. So we're still together until April 4th. So you guys will get that Ramadan program as a bonus. So I'll just give you the meal plans, and then we're going to be together in this group anyway, and we'll walk through that process together. Some of you are going to fast, starting next week, and some of you have already gone back to your routine of fasting Mondays and Thursdays. So here's what you would do. You're basically just going to turn your day around. So suhoor is always going to be the most hydrating meal that you can make it. We need to make hydration a priority anyway, because the problem with Ramadan is not, the reason people feel unwell in Ramadan is because of lack of hydration, believe it or not, because we eat all the dehydrating foods, all the traditional Ramadan foods, every single one of them is incredibly dehydrating, whether that's the food or tamiyya or bread or yogurt that we have at suhoor. And then at iftar time, we do the fried foods, the paneh, the mahshi, the macarona, the pasta, all the rice, and then all the Ramadan desserts. All of those are very dehydrating. Put aside that they're inflammatory, but they're dehydrating. So no matter how much water you drink between iftar and suhoor, and you wake up tired and you wake up with a headache, it's because you're dehydrated. Remember, fruits and vegetables are the most hydrating foods. All these other dry, dead, and done foods that have then been fried, and you've added sauces to them, and you've done all these things, no nutrition, no hydration. So in order to flip this around and have energy in Ramadan requires you to remove the dehydrating foods and add in the incredibly hydrating foods. So all of you already, just because you've reached a point of balanced hydration in your body, you're all very well hydrated. You should have a much easier time going into Ramadan because you've already been hydrating way more than anybody else around you. So we start with suhoor, we hydrate the body. So your suhoor is basically your breakfast. So you're gonna have your lemon water, your celery, and your smoothie. That's for now. And even later when we get into Ramadan, because that's gonna be your habit. You hydrate yourself with this, have as much as you want, and then obviously you won't have anything during the day. When it's time to break your fast, you wanna again hydrate first. Start with a little bit of lemon water, and then any of the meals that we've been having, but you want to maybe add to those. So maybe you want to have a soup also before you have the cooked vegetables. And then yes, maybe you also want to have a protein on that day that you're fasting. But what you don't want to do is add in rice, pasta, bread, any of that. Nothing changes because it's Ramadan. Everybody just does Ramadan really, really, really wrong. Ramadan is not about eating more, it's about eating smarter. And you're going to see that you don't actually need as much food as you have been used to when you do your first Ramadan after detoxing. So suhoor is celery, your breakfast, celery, lemon water, smoothie. Iftar is lemon water. You could actually also add a celery juice in there if you want. Soup, salad, veggies, animal protein. If you do have the animal protein, you will have to wait 3 or 4 hours if you feel like having something in between iftar and suhoor, if you want to have some more fruits. If you don't have any animal protein at iftar time, then you can have your vegetable combinations, soup, salad, cooked vegetables, and then a few hours later, you can have a fruit salad, which is more hydration. You can have some dates and some apples until you have your suhoor. All right. Shadeen, celery for suhoor, here we come. Yes. Oh my gosh, you will not believe that you can actually have a Ramadan where there's no headaches, you're not tired, you're not cranky, you're not irritable. We have a lot of energy where you can go work out and you don't get thirsty, and you can come home and go to work and come back and cook, and you're just vibrating at such an incredible level when you're eating those foods, plus the added element of fasting, because we know fasting is good for you. Giving the body a break is good for you. And then here's why people also do Ramadan incorrectly, because Ramadan, like I said, is not about food. And then they sort of use fasting in Ramadan as an opportunity to lose weight, but what happens with fasting in the Ramadan, remember I told you intermittent fasting stresses the body, but the reason that fasting in the Ramadan works, if you do it correctly, because most people, right, they fast all day and then what do they eat at Fitr time? A disaster, right? So that's completely the wrong way to take advantage of a required fast. And actually all religions require us to fast in some way. Every single religion requires the removal of something, right? The removal of either when you eat or what you eat. And the reason behind that is so that we can focus on the spiritual. That's the goal behind it. The idea is that you remove sort of the physical needs and the physical cravings so that you could open yourself up to the spiritual. But what does everybody do in Ramadan? It's all about food, 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 food. And you spend the whole day thinking about how you're so hungry and how you miss your coffee and how you can't wait to go home and eat, and kind of miss the opportunity for spirituality. So when you are able to do it without the cravings, and the reason people stay in the cravings because every day they're feeding the cravings. Now that you know this and understand this, it can all make sense to you sort of retrospectively. You can look back and say, I was always hungry, yeah, because every day I was eating, rice or pasta or fried foods or dessert, which feed the sugar craving. So the next day you wake up tired and still wanting more of that food. Now imagine if you don't have those cravings, right? If your body is very, very energetic, and everybody gets to choose the degree to which they want to be spiritual in any faith, right? But if you really want to be spiritual during a fast in any faith, and you do it properly, it's just kind of automatic, like the spirituality that comes in. It just gets so much easier to do what you need to do and to take yourself to whatever next level of spirituality, because you're not being like bogged down by the physical, right? And you're not thinking about food. We all do, like the last hour, right? We're hungry, you want to eat, but that's not your priority during the day. Like you're having a really clear-headed, really energetic day. If your goal is to pray, if your goal is to pray more than you prayed the year before, whatever your goal is, you find that it's so much easier to accomplish when the body's light. So that's what we're going to do. Can you post the fruit salad? Yes. Somebody tag me on the group in case I forget tomorrow, and I will post the fruit salad. Can I break fast in Ramadan with dates first before the yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yes, you can do that. Okay, ladies, tomorrow is skin. Always a fun class. Skin tomorrow, Monday, and then supplements, or one of the twos first, I don't remember. But this week, in our last 4 classes, we have skin, supplements, adaptogens, superfoods, and essential oils. We're going to be covering that in the next 4 days. And then next week, we don't have any class, the end of our daily classes this week. So Thursday is the end of our daily classes. Next week, you have no classes. And I highly recommend you use that time to go back and either watch classes that you completely missed, or go back and rewatch ones that maybe sort of piqued your interest a little bit. You want to go back and re-listen in case you missed something. You want to go back and re-listen to everything, definitely, because it's all about repetition. You've heard from the ladies who are in the program for the second and the third and the fourth times that you don't get all the information the first time. There's layers to learning also. So take advantage of next week and actually the rest of the weeks, because we only have then 1 class every 2 weeks after that. So the next class after Thursday will be 2 weeks from today, I believe, or 3 weeks from today. The schedule is in the first email that you got, and it's also in the Facebook group. And that class is going to be emotional eating. And then 2 weeks after that class, we'll just have a Q&A class. And then 2 weeks after that class, we'll have the mindful eating lesson. And then 2 weeks after that, we'll have another Q&A, and then we're done. So you'll have plenty of days where we're not having a daily class. So I highly recommend that to keep yourself in the momentum of this, right? So partly You need to learn to become more independent. That's why you don't need me every single day in a Zoom session for 3 months. We did it sort of intense so you can get all the information that you need to give you this jump start. But you need to become more independent, and becoming more independent means you're going to take more action on your own. And if that means going back and re-immersing yourself in these sessions so that you can keep yourself highly motivated and in the momentum of it, then definitely do it. You need to do it also, like I said, to see whatever you've missed in terms of information. See if there's more questions that come up for you that you need to ask me in our time that we have left together. All right. So I will see you all, ladies, tomorrow, same time, same place, and have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.